Welcome to Power User with Crash Long Johnson. That's me. Today's topic is SharePoint page web parts with a rating of Novice. In this video, SharePoint pages will cover the following web parts: hero, text, news, quick links, button, call to action, and we'll highlight a few others. So let's get started and jump over to the computer. Now that we're at the computer, we're going to cover the various web parts that I mentioned earlier: the hero, text, quick links, news, button, and call to action, and touch base on a few others that we'll cover in future videos. But right now, we've got you up to the point where you're able to now start getting into the web parts. You understand SharePoint a little bit better. You're actually created your page. Now it's time to put stuff on that page. So as you'll see is I already got a hero web part, and just wanted to save some time, and because if I didn't, this video would be really long, and I don't want to have you have to sit through a very long video over the web parts. But what it is you got the little section here, and then you have the plus button. Again, this plus is then we'll have all the web parts, and it's the hero web part. Once that's placed on there, then the hero web part, we have our edit, and you can even copy this. But if we hit the edit, you got tiles, and you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which I got 3 currently. Or you could do layers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go back to the tiles. So each of these tiles, you can put an image, a link. So we'll click on the big one, and we'll click our pencil, because again, anytime we see a pencil, it means that it's editable. Now you'll see that the link, we can tell where to go. In this case, have this actually going to the lookbook from Microsoft. And my title, it gave it Microsoft SharePoint Lookbook, and you can show or hide that. I picked a custom background image, and that just came from the actual images from Microsoft. And then there's also options. And in this case, I went ahead and did a call to action, which is the web part support materials, and that takes you to another website. And then on this one, I have it going to a Yammer group within Office 365, picked a custom image, and that was it, no call to action. And last, did a search engine Bing and pointed it to Microsoft Bing, and no call to action. So let's look. We're going to take our hero web part, and we're going to walk through here real quick. I'm going to change to 4 tiles. And we're going to pick our 4th tile. We're going to edit this, and we're going to change the link. And we're going to do from link. I'm going to paste in a link. Have that inserted. Background image, it just did an auto select image because it was pointing to my YouTube channel. We're just going to do the custom image just to show how it's changing the images. So hit change. I went to stock images, and let's just type in video. I'll just pick this one here. And the title. And that's it. So if we go ahead and republish this, now we have our hero web part on the page. If we click on the image itself for Microsoft SharePoint Lookbook, it's going to open up the lookbook. Click on the supporting materials. It opens up using web parts and SharePoint pages. If I click on Crash Long John Adventures, it's going to open up Yammer. If I click on search engine Bing, takes it to Bing, and Crash Long John's YouTube channel takes it to the YouTube channel. So these can take you to various different places. It could take you to an MS form. It could take you to stream video, to another page, to a list and library. And list and libraries we'll talk about in the upcoming video series for the SharePoint Novice series. Right now that wraps up the hero part, and we'll transition to the next. Now we're going to look at the text web part. And we're going to go ahead and hit our add little icon. And now we're going to click on the text web part. Now that we have a text web part, we have, could be like normal text. We can do headings, monospaced. We can bold things, italics, underline. We can align it. We can do bullet. We can do a hyperlink. And we even have cross out, subscript, and clear all formatting. We can change the size. So a lot to do within just the text web part itself. So I'm going to put in just a bunch of fake little text, and this way we can kind of see how this changes. So if I do a heading, as you can see that heading makes it bigger. And header 2, header 3, full quote, monospaced, and just normal. Now if I highlight a section, it's not going to like change that particular header. So now if I space it out and even try to change that to normal text, as you can see, it pretty much is making everything change. So you have to kind of think about like, hey, what in here? Because again, certain things you can bold, but it's not going to change when you're doing header, but you can change it by highlighting and doing it manually. It's not going to be by the font size, so, or font style, excuse me. There isn't a whole lot that you're probably not going to be unfamiliar with, because if you used Word, then alignments, justifying, increase the indent, all that is going to be very familiar to you. So we take all this out, and we're just going to go ahead and clear all the formatting. Again, pasting just in, we then can highlight. We can change the font size and make it bold to make it bigger. So that could be like your title. So title of text article. And then rest of it, you could resize, or if there's something else that you want to have that needs to be italicized, italicize it, and much more. So pretty straightforward with the text web part. Not much that, like I said, any difference than you working in a Word document. Just some variations with the font style. Has some quirks where it's going to change everything versus if you just highlight and change the font size. So up next, we'll review quick links. Okay, now we're going to look at the quick links web part. So again, we're going to hit the add icon and we're going to click on quick links. And here we can give this, you can leave it as quick links or give another title. In this case, I'm going to call this one resources. We're going to also click the Edit Web part so we can see what all is inside of the edit capabilities within the web part. So our layout options, we got compact, film strip, grid, button, list, or tiles. So we got various options as far as the look and feel. We can also turn off the show image in the layout or not. And then for filtering, we can also do what is called enabling audience targeting, which allows where only like certain folks would be able to see certain things based on what groups they're in. Audience targeting, this is a little bit more into depth, and we can get into that in future videos. So right now we're just really kind of getting you up to speed on what the web parts are. So we're going to leave it as compact for now, and we're going to go ahead and close that out. I'm going to do some add links here, and just going to do a quick one here. And I'm going to copy this so we can just save some time. So now we got a link. I'm going to get us a bunch more. It's all going to take us to YouTube, but just want to get enough so we have kind of an illustration of what it would look like when it gets switched in different like layouts for. So now that we have each of these, when we hover over each of our links, we can also edit those. And those edit, we can change the title. We can do a custom image. So we could do the change again, go to stock images, and we can just pick an image. Same for the next one, custom, change, stock image. And I'm going to go down the line here, get them all where they have an image. All right, now they all have an image. So we're going to go ahead and get out of that. The other thing that we can do is in each of these, like I said, anytime you see what you can edit. So we're going to go back to the web part itself. So let's look and see what now it looks like in the various different layouts. So that way you can kind of get a feel for it and understand the quick links web part. So if I turn off the image, then it's just whatever you gave it the title for that link. Turn the image back on, it shows that. I do a film strip. Basically, it's just like a film strip. It's the big image, the title of whatever the resource is, and just continue to go through. Grid, kind of up and down. The button. Now buttons, we got a little bit more stuff that we can do. We can show description, no description. The icons, we can do no icon, icon on the left, icon on top. We can have no outline for the box. We can actually do a fill color. Alignment, we can do top, center. We can do one line or two lines. One line you can see really crunches it in. We do list, just a list format, and then tiles. And those we can do small, medium, large, extra large, fill the whole space. When you get to large, medium, small, we can show only icon or image, yes or no. So that really covers what your quick links web part's doing. Buttons are kind of nice. Grids a little bit big. Film strip depends on if it meets your needs. Compact, but a lot definitely use the button because again you can also fill color, so you can put some fill in there. And that's going to be based off of what your actual site collection coloring is. So next up, we're going to touch on the news web part. Now let's look at the news web part. So we're going to go ahead and add our web part. So we're going to find the news web part. And this news web part already has some news posts actually in the web part. And news posts we're actually going to get into the next SharePoint series. So that way you'll see how those news posts are created. And then we can also then recover again a little bit about the news post web part. So the news web part, we're going to go ahead and click on the edit web part just to see what is all available to you. First, we have the news source, which we got this site. So the site collection of crashlongjohns.com, or select sites. If we hit select sites, we can actually pick from the various site collections within the Crash Long John site. Or recommended for user, which is going to be those items that is recommended based on like what you the user would be looking at. We're going to go back to this site. And then we have layout, which we got show title and commands. We can turn that on or off, just to be the commands. We also have some layouts of top story, lists, side by side, hub news, carousel, or tiles. We're going to go back to like a list view or even side by side. Now let's actually go back to top story. So top story, we can have compact view on or off. We can show number of views on or off. Show the author on or off. Show first published date on or off. You can hide anything that's in there in the web part that's nothing to show. You can filter, and again, enable audience targeting. And then you can organize the news order. Right now, it's just in automatic. If you look at list, we can have the number of news posts to show. We can put that up to 5. Again, compact view, show number of views, author, published date, filtering, audience targeting, news order, you can change the order or just have it automatically. Side by side, pretty much the same that we're looking at. Hub news, a little less layout options, but then we still got filter, carousel. You can automatically cycle the news on, seconds between the posts, filter what is going to be in the news post, and then tiles. And tiles even like lesser options. So let's actually go back to list here. And we have our 5, and let's go ahead and see if we compact view here. You can see it really narrows it down. And we're going to turn the author off. We'll just get rid of the published date. Now let's talk about the filter. So in the next video series, when we're going to talk about the news post, I'll touch on how this filtering actually works based on having a category set up column in the actual page, site pages. And we'll get into that. But for now, let me show what can be done with your news post. So news post, we can filter, and we're going to do the page properties. And the page properties is because I already have like a property name for a column. In this case, it was type of news. And then equals, we can have it where, hey, I can do all, and it's going to show me everything. But I can also narrow that down if let's say I only want like which one of these were tagged as horror. Well, as we see, only one. If I want to see what was action, it'll pull me anything that was tagged with action. And then if I do anime, anything that was tagged with anime. If I do action and anime, it's going to pull me back anything with action and anime. So that kind of helps narrow down how that news post would work. So we can just get rid of filter. Use that. And then it pulls back in everything. So again, that's a real quick view of the actual news web part. And again, next video, we'll get into more about news post and then how this all kind of plays together with the news post and the news web part. Next up, going to look at buttons and call to action. Now we'll look at the button and call to action. So we're going to click on our new web part. And this time we're just going to click on button. And then I'm also going to click on and go find the call to action. Right there it is. So now we got them both. So we can kind of look at both of them at the same time. So first off, we have our button. We're going to click the pencil to find out what we can edit. Looks like we have a label and a link and alignment. And the button color is based on the theme accent color. So let's just label this. Let's just say Google. And then link, just do the www.google, if I can type. And there it is. And then we can align that button. And that's kind of just the button in a nutshell. Not a whole lot with that there. And then let's go ahead and click on our call to action web part. And we're going to click on the edit web part, see what we have. Now we do have, in this one, I got a background image, a button label, and button link, and alignment. So we do have one extra, the background image. So let's just go ahead again, button, we're going to go Google. Oh, actually, let's do vote for your team. And then for a link, we're just going to leave that blank for now. And then we're going to change our background. We're going to do stock image. And let's try vote and see what we got. If there's any, nothing there. So any ballot. So box. I'll just do a box. And, all right, so we'll just pick a box. Even though that's not really what I want. I was just trying to get a vote. So let's do going to set the focal point. Move our focal point's not really in the right spot. And we'll even see what we can do here for alignment. Maybe we can line this over. And then let's reset the focal point. There we go. So since we couldn't find a vote, we'll just sit there and say, pick your type again. Pick your secret Santa. All right. And then call to action text. And again, link, but don't really have any great link that's going to fit with this. So again, just for time's sake, I'm just going to do google.com just so I can show what it does. And then the button is now green based on the theme. So if we look at this, then we'll go ahead and republish. So that way we can put this actually published out there in a published mode. So we can see now that, hey, we got our hero web part, we got our text web part, our quick links web part, our news post, and we got a button and even a call to action. So this button is going to just open Google, and same with here. So this call to action, where I've seen it's been nice, is if you do have like a form, so like a MS form that need to get a poll or a quick like survey, then this one's a really nice one because you can put that on the page for some time being, have that done, then you could always take it away. So that's really nice. To wrap up, let's just kind of look at a couple others real quick. So here we're looking at everything. Other items that, you know, eventually we'll get into discussion, but you have many other areas in here. You got an image web part. It's got links. You can pull in stream videos. You also have a document library, list web part, a highlighted content web part. Those we'll cover with you when we get into list and document libraries here in the next couple weeks. And then you also have Yammer. You could even have a countdown timer, events, group calendar, a people, pick a people web part where you can have a people view. You also have Microsoft Forms. You can even have a Power BI. You can also have Power Apps. So you can embed certain things. So much in here. Like I said, we'll cover some of those in future videos in the next couple weeks, but it gives you an idea and everything around the web parts. But the ones we covered today are kind of like the heavy hitters within a page build. Thank you for stopping by. Until next time, keep learning.